Hey yo guys, the topic of this video is going to be about aliens versus Predator, aliens versus Predator, aliens versus Predator. The topic of this video is going to be about aliens versus Predator. Why am I talking about aliens versus Predator? Because look, Carl's playing Concrete Jungle right now. Anyway, aliens versus Predator is it's basically something that I feel very close to in my heart. I very much am interested in aliens versus Predator. What the fuck is aliens versus Predator? As we all know, we all know the Alien films. Although I got the games here, figurine of the Queen here. We all know like the Alien films, and we all know the Predator films. You know, the Alien films with the ones that Ridley Scott made, and you know the xenomorph and creature, etc. And look, yeah, I got a couple of figurines I can show you guys. Ooh, got quite a lot of figurines to show you. Some plushies here. Yeah, shit. So yeah, guys, aliens versus Predator. Now, when I was a little boy, I used to play a game called AVP Extinction. Although I don't have a physical copy right now that I can show you, but it should be on the screen. AVP Extinction. That used to be a game I used to play when I was a lot younger, and etc. and stuff like that. I don't know how I got into aliens versus Predator. I think it's because when I was younger, I watched the 2004 film Aliens versus Predator. And that was kind of alright. You know the 2004 film when they go into the pyramids, and there's like a sacrificial chamber, and the predators were like using the xenomorphs as some type of rite of passage, and they were hunting the xenomorphs. And they go into this pyramid, and they basically initiate this type of like hunting sequence, like countdown, and what not really a countdown, really. There's like, you know, with Lex, that black lady, and etc. and Sebastian. And they were in the temple, and there was other people with them, and they went into this type of excavation, etc. That, you know, that AVP 2004 film, it should be on the screen. I feel as if that's how I got introduced to aliens versus Predator. I think after watching that, I watched a lot of the Alien films on their own, the original Alien films that Ridley Scott made, and some of the Predator films. Then I played a bunch of video games. You know, there's like a game from the 2010s, AVP. You should know that one, and there's Colonial Marines, Isolation, Beat It on Nightmare Mode, Facehuggers and the Queen there. So yeah, guys, look, as you can see, I'm pretty much so a fan of it. We've got the Queen there, some good shots of this. Ooh, look at that. Yeah, we got some Predator figures, Alien figures, and look, Predator Concrete Jungle, which I'm playing on the PC. I'll show you my PC quickly with the game pad controller there. On the PC. Very much I'm interested in aliens versus Predator. Again, I'm just kind of giving you a brief history of my relationship with this franchise. So yeah, I do believe it was like when I was like a little boy, I watched the 2004 film. The one where, you know, you got Lex, that black lady, and Sebastian, and they go into like some type of pyramid complex, and they accidentally, I don't know if it's because they pick up the plasma casters and stuff, and that kind of initiates some type of like thing, and that pretty much triggers the Alien Queen to get out, to become not frozen anymore. The Alien Queen emerges, and she's frozen, but she's becoming thawed out, and she comes alive, and she starts to lay eggs, and the eggs create facehuggers, and the facehuggers quickly impregnate some of the excavation crew, and then the xenomorphs come, and then the predators come, and there's a big fat conundrum and fight happening, and etc. and stuff like that. And then Lex, the black lady, she's like the protagonist, and she has to kind of make her way out of the sub pyramid complex thing, and the predators were trying to kill them and stuff. But the aliens came and killed like there were like 3 predators, and the aliens took 2 of them out, and then Scar Predator, the last one, he kind of teamed up with Lex, the black lady, and they both inevitably made it out of the pyramid. And they're about to escape, but the Queen followed suit, and there's like a big fat battle, and basically Lex kind of like caused the Queen to get dragged into the ocean and stuff, and blah blah blah, and then but Scar, the Predator, the last Predator that teamed up with her, died, and etc. And and he was like picked up by the other Predators in a big fat ship. And basically, that was the end of the movie. I don't want to be talking too much about that movie though, but the reason I'm mentioning it is because in terms of like AVP, Aliens versus Predator, that's like probably one of my first introductions to this type of franchise. Other than that movie, and there was like, I think Predator, I used to watch Predator, the Predator films, and I was like, Predator 1 with Arnold Schwarzenegger, Predator 2 with Danny Glover, and there was also Predators and stuff, and the AVP films and etc. and stuff like that. That's what I was really like, that's what I grew up with and etc. and stuff like that. And that really that also helped me develop some type of like love for this franchise, etc. And it was also something else was the video games, obviously. The video games. And the the ones that were made by Sega. Look at this one, Aliens versus Predator, Hunter Prey. This one's fucking fantastic. I used to play that a lot on the PS3, guys. You got Colonial Marines, you got Alien Isolation. And I used to fuck with that so much. AVP, 2010 game. I used to fuck with that about. Really, I think before that game, I remember this was like when I was a lot younger. Originally, because when I was a lot younger, I had the PS2 to play games with originally. And one of the games I played on the PS2 was Aliens vs. Predator Extinction. Yeah, AVP Extinction. I don't have a physical copy to show you, but it should be on the screen. This game is so fucking fantastic, guys. I played the fuck out of it on my PS2. It was so amazing. It's mesmerizing, so interesting. It was so great. Maybe I can should I? Nah. I got the emulator that I can show you. Should I pull it up? Let me see. I'm using this shitty thing, man. Here we are. Fucking hell. Ooh, look, that's what I used to play when I was little. Aliens versus Predator Extinction. Playing it with an emulator. Yeah. You should see there we are, the P. That one, the PCS2 emulator. Here we go, guys. AVP, remember the intro? This is the intro. I remember this so vividly. There's the faceover. And AVP Extinction, that's what got me into this. Definitely one of my favorite games of all time. There you are, guys. Boom, boom, boom. And there's the Alien Queen. And I don't want to show you too much of that. I just want to show you a little bit. I still play the game. I actually was playing it very recently on my PC. An emulator. You can actually get an emulator, like a ROM of the game, and play an emulator called PCSX2. Anyway, that's a big fat side tangent. But AVP Extinction. I used to pretty much love this game to death when I was a lot younger, and it really. That's probably one of the biggest reasons I got so interested in the franchise, in the Aliens versus Predator franchise, which is not really even a franchise. Like AVP is kind of like a crossover series between like the Alien franchise and the Predator franchise, both amazing franchises. The Alien there, Predator there, and I have and then obviously the AVP films as well. That's what kind of really captured my imagination. And the AVP films, Aliens versus Predator and AVP Requiem. A lot of people hate these films. They hate the concept of these films and like how they kind of taint each individual movie franchise, like the Alien franchise and the Predator franchise. A lot of people don't like the fact that these movies exist. It's kind of dumb to me because I really do think these movies are very underrated. Obviously, they're not as good as like the original Aliens and Predator films, the original Alien film by Ridley Scott. in the original Predator film with Arnold Schwarzenegger. God damn. Fucking hell, man. I love AVP, yeah, but that's pretty much my little type of history with it. Originally, when I was like a lot younger, I think I saw the AVP 2004 film, and then I remember I was playing AVP Extinction on the PS2. Actually, then I remember that because my PS2 stopped working or something, or the game disc stopped working, my dad got me a PS3, and one of the games he got on the PS3 was this game called Aliens vs Predator here, and that's the one I used to play a lot as well when I was a lot younger. There's some FPS mode. I never played the you know, the PC games for the Aliens vs Predator, you know, the original Aliens vs Predator 1 and then Aliens vs Predator 2, and there was like an extension called Primal Hunt. I never got into that. And there was other games as well on the older consoles, etc. and stuff like that, but I never got into that. When I was little, I used to play AVP Extinction on the PS2, and then I got Aliens vs Predator there, etc. You know, these plushies, it's like something I had when I was like a little boy. I got it from some type of comic book store. I still got it with me. It's so cool. That shit. Yeah, but Aliens vs Predator, man, that was my thing when I was like a little boy. So obviously, I'm still into that. Still got a bunch of different figurines and like plushies and stuff like that. It's kind of, I really do hope that in the future now that they make some type of new Aliens vs Predator game, because I do believe the franchise is, which is, it's not really even a franchise again, it's a crossover of the Alien movie franchise and the Predator movie. It's kind of like a crossover series, but it's kind of being it's kind of sucks that AMC is pretty much, the AVP, this crossover series is pretty much dying out. There's no like new films being produced for it, etc. and stuff like that, which is kind of a big fat tragedy. It really is a tragedy that there is no new, like, films, like, there's only really 2 films made for this crossover series. The AVP film, which was okay, and then Requiem, which was kind of shittier. They should have at least attempted to kind of expand more of this type of this series, this crossover series. Obviously, the video games. The latest, I do believe the latest Aliens vs Predator game was like from 2010, which is like a decade ago. It's literally a decade ago. There's no new AVP game. There's been like a bunch of Aliens individual games for like each movie franchise, each movie series, whatever. Like you got Alien Isolation, I think that's from 2014. Colonial Marines is from around 2013, I don't know, maybe 14, 15, 16. Aliens vs Predator, which is from 2010, which is interesting. They're all made by Sega. Which is interesting. Which is kind of fascinating to me that Sega has pretty much been carrying the torch for the AVP franchise, this crossover series. Alien, not just for the AVP thing, crossover series, but also for the Alien franchise and the Predator. Well, not really Predator. I hope Sega gets a hold of the Predator franchise and makes like a good game for it. You know, Concrete Jungle. I already showed you a little bit of it. Should I put it back on screen? I don't know. Damn, guys, AVP is something so near and dear to my heart. I used to love this whole thing when I was a lot younger. I used to be such a big fat avid collector of all sorts of Aliens versus Predator things. There we are. Got Concrete Jungle loading up. Still trying to beat this game anyway, but I'm always stuck on the 10,000 Ways to Die mission. But anyway, Aliens vs Predator, guys, was so fucking amazing. So mesmerizing, interesting, enchanting. I love it, man. I fucking love it. It sucks. It hurts me to see this type of crossover series dying. Where did it all come from, though? I do think that this crossover series started with the comics. There was a bunch of comics that were made, and then it kind of transitioned to video games. There was like a bunch of games in the early 2000s made for the Aliens vs Predator. Oh look, Concrete Jungle is loading up on the screen, guys. Concrete Jungle is on the screen. There was a crossover series. I think it started with the comics, then it moved to the video games, then a little bit to the movies. Yeah, the movies were actually underrated. People, they don't like AVP. The film seems kind of dumb to me. The film was so decent to me, actually. wasn't as bad as people make it out to be. But anyway, back to the topic of this video, Aliens versus Predator. Some, you know, we all have our own, we all have something that's very near and dear to our hearts. Some people are into Star Wars, etc. And so some people have like these interests in these types of like some video game franchises, etc. and stuff like that. Some people like certain things. I like Aliens versus Predator. I think it's like such a badass crossover series. The 2004 film, I think that's so underrated. I think that deserved like a better sequel. AVP Requiem was kind of very dumbed down and stupider and shittier. I wonder why though. I wonder why there was like such a drop in quality in terms of like movie production. Like Alien versus Predator, the 2004 film, that was pretty decent, and then AVP Requiem was so much worse. I wonder why that was. And obviously in terms of like video games, you know, I know like the Aliens versus Predator video games, though, you had like a bunch of them from the early 2000s, but I never played those ones. They were, especially on the PC, you had like AVP and then AVP2 and then you had Primal Hunt. I never got into that. Plus it was kind of, those games were a little bit graphically dated as well. The oldest type of AVP game I played was Extinction, which was on the PS2. And obviously I got the emulator on my PC now, and then after that I played the 2010 AVP game, which is right around here. And then I played Colonial Marines and a couple of the other games that Sega made for the Aliens franchise. But anyway, you know, what's going on, guys? What's going on? Why is the AVP crossover series dying? There's probably going to be no new movies coming out for this type of crossover series. The newest AVP game that's come out, not oldest, newest, was like this AVP game that's from 2010. 2010, that's nearly a decade ago, guys. What the fuck, Sega? You gotta get another game rolling out, man, as quickly as possible. An Aliens versus Predator game, not just an Aliens game, because Sega, they've been like making one, like Alien Isolation. Obviously, that is so amazing, guys. That is like, I beat that on Nightmare mode. You got Colonial Marines, and you got AVP there. Yeah, I'm gonna make a video about my playthrough of Alien Isolation. Actually, I'm gonna show you like the ending of it and how I beat it on Nightmare mode. Isolation, that was a masterpiece of a game. Back to AVP, Aliens vs Predator, this type of crossover series. I think so. I started with the comics and I moved to the video games, and a couple movies came out. That's the end of it, isn't it? That is fucking tragic. This fucking series, I love it so much. But the films, they kind of didn't really give it much justice. Obviously, AVP was kind of alright. The 2004 film was actually alright. And then you had like the Requiem film, that was kind of alright as well. Some people hated it. I actually enjoyed a lot of different concepts in that film. Requiem, you know, with the wolf predator, his design was cool. The Predator-Aliens design was cool. Everything about it was cool except for the some of the actors. They should have got better actors, better story writers, etc. The movie was like very shitty quality, if you know what I mean. But anyway, guys, AVP, the Aliens vs Predator, this crossover series is so amazing, man. I really do hope they fucking make a new video game, game for it, with new figurines. You know, NECA, I fucking love NECA. You should know who NECA is. If you're into Aliens vs Predator, you know who NECA is. They make all the cool figurines stuff. Jungle Hunter, obviously that's McFarlane though. That's like some old Kenner thing, and then I've got like the NECA figures here. The Resurrection Queen. This is probably the most perfect queen that's out there. I don't want to like fucking topple it over with my camera, but anyway. Aliens vs Predator, this is such a badass crossover series. It's so much more badass. You know, we do have like certain crossovers with, like, you know, Freddy versus Jason. That's not as enticing. That's like a one-off thing, one film. Like there was only like really one movie made for that. But Aliens vs Predator, there used to be so many different comics, video games. Only a couple movies though, which is depressing. Hopefully this changes. Hopefully fucking maybe Sega perhaps creates a new Aliens vs Predator game. Fucking come on, man. The newest AVP game was from like 2010. That's a decade ago now. Come on, Sega, you cons, you gotta make a new AVP game. Come on, guys. Come on, guys, you gotta do it, man. At the end of this game, there's pretty much, at the end of that game, there's pretty much going to be the case that there was supposed to be a sequel happening, because at the end of, like, spoiler alert, in the AVP 2010 game, the Marine, they're setting, like, Weyland-Yutani setting off for the alien homeworld, the Predator setting off for the alien homeworld, and I think the Xenomorph just turns into a queen, but maybe perhaps he or she might be going to the homeworld of the aliens. Alien homeworld, not Predator homeworld. Yeah, the Predator, Weyland-Yutani, and they want to go to the alien homeworld. Come on, man. Aliens versus Predator. Sega, come on, you gotta make that sequel to the 2010 game. Don't let this crossover series die, man. Aliens versus Predator. This is this type of crossover series is so near and dear to my heart. It hurts me so much to see it, like, fading into obscurity. No new games are coming out. No new movies are coming out. Nothing brand new for this type of movie franchise is coming out. That is fucking painful to see and to know about. Come on, Sega. Fix up on this, Sega. And I think, guys, that's going to be about it. That's about it then, guys. Aliens versus Predators. I love it to death. It's so close and near to my heart, this type of crossover series. Some people like Star Wars, some people like other things, but I like Aliens versus Predator.